testimony happening at the Ohio State House. The Health Committee is holding hearings and having expert witnesses, including this nurse who has testified that now that she got the vaccine, she is magnetic. I have nothing more.
Yes, vaccines do harm people. By the way, so I just found out something when I was on lunch, and I wanted to show it to you. We were talking about Dr. Tenpenny's testimony about magnetic vaccine crystals. So this is what I found out. So I have a key and a bobby pin here. Explain to me why the key sticks to me. It sticks to my neck too.
Friction.
Whoops.
Yeah, so if somebody can explain this, that would be great.
You're not magnetic. That's how I can explain it. Not sticking
Any
to you.
questions?
Yes, I have a lot of questions. I mean,
This
hold
is
on.
sad.
I can't.
First, we should say, because I think we should not just what
I had this in my mouth. I tried to set up a whole bit that I was now magnetic and this was in my bloodstream, but keep going.
I missed it. I'm sorry. Why don't you do it again? I'll pay attention this time.
Absolutely not. Keep going.
I mean, this isn't something that's I feel terrible for ruining the bit, but this isn't something that's just this lady, by the way. There are videos all over the internet, all over social media going viral where people are complaining or sharing this conspiracy that they're all magnetic now,
Displaying their superpowers.
Because keys and other stuff are sticking to them. I mean, it's basically a bunch of people proudly declaring that they're sweaty little pigs. I mean, I don't know how else to. I mean, that's why your stuff sticks to you when you're sweaty and you're sticky. That's what happens. I mean,
this is the new one. I have not heard that it's making people magnetic. I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories about vaccines.
No,
I've heard like I think every conspiracy theory about vaccines, but the magnetic crystals one's a little bit different.
No, it's all over. The vaccine is making people magnetic. It's especially went viral on TikTok, by the way. So maybe that's why certain people who are older and not on TikTok, like myself, I know because I'm crazy.
I mean, this is that common thing of people noticing something that happens. Like, I remember when people were noticing rainbows were appearing in their sprinklers when they would look at it at a certain angle. And they thought instead of just natural refractory, sunlight through water droplets, they thought it was some sort of chemical was just recently put into the sprinkler system, the water. But honestly, this is sad to me. Like because she believes it 100%, and that people get so misled on a mass level into just I don't know. They're just lost people, and you want to throw out like a life preserve to them.
I just looked it up, and keys aren't even magnetic. Modern keys.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
But I mean, our understanding of magnetism is entirely effed. Like all that stuff that people put around their wrists and they think like it does something to their blood because there's iron in blood. Blood is also not magnetic. The iron in that blood. So yeah, we're pretty dumb about that stuff.
No, I mean, I think what Matt's saying is super true. Like a lot of conspiracy theories gain purchase in people's minds because they don't really understand like science, it includes like social science or like historical, or not historical science, but, history. And they observe a phenomenon in, society and nature that's occurring. And because like our understanding of those things is so incomplete, they just can't explain it. And so they go to like the first person who tells them that, because you can't see the curvature of the earth, it's therefore flat from your own vantage point, then that's actually a much easier sell, because I think that in America, people are a lot more conditioned to the idea that they might be the one who stumbles upon some kind of forbidden truth, some kind of secret knowledge, that they're special enough to be the victim of a unique conspiracy theory that they've uncovered, and also that their experiences and their senses are really all it takes for them to understand the entirety of truth within the world. That's a very flattering idea, even if it's kind of scary that you're now magnetic from a vaccine, that, you might be the center of some conspiracy theory that you just figured out. And, the fact that most people are not going to stumble upon Watergate with their, MacBook or their vaccination or their key is sort of lost, I think, because we enable a lot of people to share these kinds of ideas, maybe not this crazy, as though they are in fact like based in any kind of real substantive like understanding of like the world. I mean, for me, this is no weirder than people who go on and want to talk about race science in mainstream like magazines all the time, but we enable that, I think, a lot more fluidly than we enable things like this.
All right. Well, I want to point out that the person who she's defending, their testimony, she mentioned Tenpenny. She's referring to Sherry Tenpenny. She is an anti-vaxxer, a prominent one. She's like one of those anti-vaxxers who've made a career out of being like an anti-vaxxer influencer. She's not just like a believer in this stuff. Like she's one of the leading anti-vaxxer voices. She was invited to give that testimony by the Ohio State GOP. She is, by the way, and I've reported on this, a recent report found that she is one of the 12 people who are being labeled the disinformation dozen, who are responsible for something like 70% of all the anti-vaxxer conspiracy theories that spread on Facebook, Twitter, all the major social media platforms. She's one of those 12, and they invited her to come and be their expert. And now they have this lady out there defending her and trying to prove her obvious lies about becoming magnetic by getting the vaccine.
I mean, that's really who has culpability for this stuff, is these professional institutions who are using it as a political weapon. And I just want to shout out Tyler Buchanan, who does State House and Politics coverage for the Ohio Capitol Journal, who I believe posted these clips.
Yeah, I mean, to Matt's point, there's definitely value, as Tucker Carlson sees, because he's promoting this anti-vaxxer stuff now too, in like getting people riled up in this way and having them further enmeshed into this sort of propaganda network. And by nature of not being vaccinated and being viewed as crazy by people for like thinking you're magnetic, being further segregated from parts of society that would otherwise give them counter information. This kind of stuff, all it does is serve to like segregate that lady into the kind of silo population on Facebook where like she'll just be rather have her ideas keep being reaffirmed, keep being, like echoed back to her. And the fact that she's a nurse, or like, Dr. Tenpenny is technically an osteopathic doctor, only serves to like provide the thinnest layer of expertise for Americans who don't really know the difference between like a doctor of osteopathic medicine or a nurse practitioner and a virologist or anything like that.
All right. Yeah. It's amazing. We got people sticking objects to their skin, which, I don't know, I've been able to do since the beginning of time. I mean, I feel like that's like a trick you do when you're a kid, when you realize like, you leaned on something for too long when you were like sitting at a desk and you lifted your arm up and it was like stuck to your elbow or something.
Yeah, penny
like,
or something.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's cool. Look at that. And then you start like holding them onto you for a long time to see what else you could stick on you. Like, I feel like this is something that
But maybe that's because we all got our booster shots for going to like elementary school.
You're cracking this thing wide open, man. You've really you've uncovered another layer of this. Or even just like static electricity, like people like rubbing balloons against themselves and like holding it to your head so it sticks there. That doesn't mean that gravity isn't real. It just means that static electricity is also real.
Wow.
Chowder with Crowder says conservatives waking up with 5G vaccine superpowers, and instead of celebrating, they complain to the state government. I mean, yeah, I would be sick if I got superpowers from the vaccine. I mean, that's what I would say if I had superpowers from the vaccine, and if I was the Caped Crusader going across Brooklyn at night, and I wanted nobody to know about it.
There's also the people who think they're going to be like Rick Grimes left over in a year or two as one of the last people on the planet, because there's a contingent of anti-vaxxers who believe that in 1 to 2 years, everyone who received the vaccine will be dead, and the anti-vaxxers will be the sole survivors to continue on the human race.